All right, welcome back. Mr. Vosters here. We are going to continue our shed design. And in this video, we're going to add some doors, some windows, and we may have to resize some of our things. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So first things first, let's turn off our realistic view. Go back to hidden lines, visual style. Again, that's just to save a little bit of our computer's processing power. So in order to add some doors, let's go back to our floor plan. And then we're going to go over to architecture. And in the architecture tab, we should have the option for doors. And if you click here, we should have a bunch of different options, but they're not very exciting. So you have an exterior door, you've got a double flush passage door, single flush, and a single vision light door. So really just 4 options with a bunch of different sizes. If we click up here where it says load family, we can see a bunch more different doors. So we'll go to load family, and then from here, we should be able to click the doors folder. We want residential. And then if you click, you can see, it gives you a little preview of what that door looks like. So we've got a whole bunch of different options to choose from. We're going to want to choose one of these single doors with a panel design. So there's a 1 panel, 2 panel door, 3 panel door, 4 panel, 5 panel, 6 panel. We're just going to do a 4 panel door. Again, that's a single door, not a double door like these. We want a single door with 4 panels. You can choose whichever one you want as long as it is a panel door and it's a single door. So we'll click right here on our 4 panel. It's going to give us a bunch of different options for width and height. We're just going to click OK so that all of these get loaded in. So from here, now when we click, you should have a bunch of different options. Why am I not seeing the options? 1 second, I'm going to pause the video, try to figure that out. Okay, I forgot when we're loading our family, we do need to actually click on the size of the door that we want. You don't want to just load all of these because that's going to waste memory and it's going to use up some space on your computer. So for this one, we want to select a 34-inch by 80-inch door. So if we scroll, it'll show the type on the side. We want 34 inches by 80 inches, and we'll click OK. Now, down here, we should see 34 by 80. And if we start hovering that door over the edges of our house or of our shed, we can see kind of how it will be placed. Now, this is a exterior door, so for a shed or a house, those typically will swing in. So we're going to place it along our brick wall, which I believe is the thicker one over here. So let's go ahead and place it so that it's centered, just like that. We can go over to our 3D view and just see how that looks. Looks pretty good. We've got our door. It's going to be opening inwards, and I'm pretty happy with that. Look at it straight on from our, looks like our left side of the house. From here, what we're going to do next is we're going to add some windows. So in order to add windows, we'll go back to our floor plan, and then we're going to go to window. Again, it'll give you some already kind of default windows. You've got your casement windows, double hung, or just fixed windows. So let's add some windows. We can load some. We'll have to go back out of our residential door folder, and we'll go down to our window folder. Then within Windows, we've got a whole bunch of different options again. And if you just kind of scroll through, you'll see all those. Let's add some single hung double windows. And you can kind of choose whichever one you want. And the size, again, you can choose. I'm just going to choose 3 feet by 3.5. Click OK. You're trying to load shared mountain pattern, which already exists. We're going to overwrite this. So now we can kind of see our windows being placed. We want the arrows, once we click this, we want the arrows to be on the outside. So I clicked that the wrong way. We want those arrows to be on the outside like that. So if you accidentally place it where the window is kind of inside there, you can just click these arrows to flip it around. And remember, we want those arrows to be kind of outside of the shed. So let's go back to our 3D view and just take a look at our windows. Look at that. We've got some nice windows. Now whoever's in our shed can see what's going on outside. Perfect. So you need at least 2 windows in your design. Feel free to choose whichever ones you want and go from there. All right. Next up, we're going to go back to our floor because when I'm in the 3D view, I'm kind of noticing something. And that's that when we added this brick wall, now our floor isn't actually matching up with the edge of our wall. And that's no good. Now we got this brick just kind of overhanging, not being supported by the floor, which is going to be bad for our construction. So let's go back to our floor plan. And we need to click on the floor itself. So it's actually kind of tricky to click on it from within our floor plan because it wants to just click on these walls. There, it's going to click on our door. So I apologize. We're going to go back to our 3D view. And there we can click on our wall. So if we double click it, now again, we can see we're modifying the boundary. That little tab opened up for us. So now that we've got to click, let's go back to our floor plan. And now we're going to use a new tool called our Align tool. So over here under where it says modify, we've got a couple different options. We're going to choose the one that looks like this and says align. So this is going to allow us to align one thing with another thing. So we want to specifically align our floor boundary with the edge of our brick wall here. So first you want to click the thing that you're going to align everything else to. So we want to align our wall to this outside edge. So we're going to click that first. Then we'll go and click our floor boundary. That'll align the two. And then we want to lock it in place. So if we lock it in place, now if we modify that wall thickness, our floor boundary should move along with it. Then these two also should be aligned. So we'll click our outside of our wall, and then we'll click the floor boundary. See, it moved a little bit. We'll lock that in place. We'll lock these two or click these two, lock them in place. Lock it. And then when we go to our modify edit boundary, we should be able to click the green check. Then if we go back to our 3D view, we should see that, yep, these are all kind of flush with each other, which is good. Just to double check, let's see if it actually worked. If we modify the thickness of this wall, so if we change it from an 8-inch wall to a 12-inch wall, perfect. We see that that floor does actually move with it. So we're happy with that. Let's undo that. We don't want our wall to be 12 inches at this moment. You're going to go back and change this wall to be whatever you'd like. Remember, you need to have one brick wall, one wall with siding, which we did in a previous video. Oh, I had it there. we can see our siding with this horizontal pattern. Then we've got the brick on the other side. The other two walls, you get to choose what sort of finish or exterior you want on those. So we've got our floor resized, we've got our windows, our doors. I'm going to stop this video right here and I'll pick it back up in the next one. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in a bit.